Okay, let's see, how does that look? Alright, sorry about that. Hello everyone, Sagayote here, and welcome to another SCP narration stream. Hopefully the audio is pretty good. My voice is it's hard for me to talk loud, and so on OBS it's not very consistent, but we'll see how it goes, and I will learn how this went later in the future from when I edit this stream down. Okay. So today we're starting with SCP-024. Well, no. Today we're starting with the licensing for, or whatever it's called, for SCP-024. Now the SCP. SCP-024. Item number SCP-024. Object class Euclid. Special containment procedures. Due to its nature, SCP-024 cannot be moved to a secure location, so security measures must be placed on site. To conceal its location, 5 identical-looking replicas have been erected around SCP-024. A tight security perimeter must be maintained around SCP-024's compound at all times, with separate security teams guarding SCP-024 and its replicas. None of the security teams, except for team leaders, will be informed of the location of SCP-024. SCP-024 must be secured with magnetically sealed blast doors and reinforced armored walls to prevent unauthorized entry. And in a sip of water. Under no circumstances can any security or research personnel enter SCP-024. Only D-Class personnel are allowed entry, and strictly for research purposes only. All researchers are to observe and experiment with SCP-024 from the remote observation lab. Any personnel attempting to leave the remote observation lab or enter SCP-024 without prior approval from a Level 4 researcher must be immediately apprehended with termination authorized. This does not mean to be fired for anybody new to the SCP Foundation. This is not you get a pink slip and you go somewhere else, just so you know. Should containment be breached or SCP-024's true nature compromised, then the entire compound must be destroyed via specialized demolition charges placed throughout the compound. Description: SC-024 is an abandoned soundstage that was once owned by blank. However, SCP-024 itself has been abandoned since 19 blank, and it is unknown whether its special properties manifested before or after its abandonment. SCP-024 is located in the heart of blank blank, and was initially discovered when a group of teenage youths broke into the abandoned compound. The testimony of the lone winner when she turned herself into police was enough to have Foundation assets mobilized to contain SCP-024. Upon entering SCP-024, visitors are immediately greeted by an anonymous announcer who communicates via intercom and is able to hear and comprehend the voices of people within SCP-024. The announcer will inform contestants that they are about to take part in a game show in which the winners will win fabulous prizes, but will also warn that the game will be extremely hazardous and that the losers will never leave SCP-024. It is at this point the announcer presents the choice of whether to stay or leave SCP-024. Contestants who accept will continue to participate in the game, while those who decline are immediately expelled from SCP-024. Contestants that win the game or decline to participate may never enter SCP-024 again, as entry is denied by an impenetrable invisible barrier. It is then that contestants are led to the actual game. The style, composition, and appearance of the game always changes in every individual playthrough, but the game is always centered around a long, elaborate obstacle course that contestants must navigate through. The rules also vary. Some playthroughs may only allow a single winner, while others encourage the creation of teams to win the game. More often than not, the obstacles seen in these games range from incredibly benign to extremely hazardous and life-threatening. As the contestants attempt to negotiate the course, the announcer will continuously update their status and actively participate in the game, often giving advice, conversing with contestants, and adding new rules. As the game progresses, the obstacles become significantly more dangerous and difficult to overcome, and it is not surprising to have the entire pool of contestants succumb to the rigor of obstacle course. If such an event happens, the announcer will express sadness at the lack of a winner, and SCP-024 will shut down, resetting only when a new batch of contestants enters. So, everyone can lose, but not everyone will win. Any attempts to break the rules, such as assaulting other contestants and deliberately bypassing obstacles, are met with by extreme violence. The announcer will call out the offending contestant, who will be quickly and forcefully ejected from the course by studio guards. These studio guards will immediately materialize within SCP-024 when called upon by the announcer, and disappear when not needed. The contestant will never be seen again. When a winner is declared, he or she will receive a random grand prize. Any contestants that have survived the course but failed to win are immediately declared losers by the announcer. The lights will switch off, and the winner will immediately appear outside of SCP-024 with her prize, while the loser completely disappears. However, the most mysterious aspect of SCP-024 is that after every game, a VHS tape or DVD will appear in a mailbox outside of SCP-024's main entrance. This recording is a complete record of the entire game that was previously played, even though winners have claimed that they had never seen any cameras or recording devices inside SCP-024. Also, more strangely, a live studio audience can be seen in the background cheering the contestants. Again, winners have claimed not to have seen a live studio audience while within SCP-024. Within, inside, same thing. Addendum 1. So far, the list of prizes awarded to winners has included, but is not limited to, cash prizes, electronics, various consumer goods, cars, collectibles, full paid vacation to various countries, data expunged. Close examination of these prizes have confirmed that they are completely genuine and press no unusual abilities or characteristics whatsoever. There appears to be no consistent pattern for what prizes will be. Addendum 2. In an attempt to track where the losers are taken, GPS locator beacons were planted on subjects D12 through D135. When group D245 was sent into SCP-024, when the losers were taken away, all signals for the beacons were lost. Whether this is because the beacons were destroyed or because the losers were taken to an area that cannot be located via GPS is currently unknown. Addendum 3. The announcer living within SCP-024 appears to be sentient and aware of the events that take place outside the compound. During the test of Group 53523, which consisted only of Dr. Blank. The announcer instead engaged in a conversation with Dr. Blank. Analysts of the conversation have shown that the majority of the subjects are centered around pop culture and information distribution through television, implying that SCP-024 somehow is able to accept and interpret television signals. Cutting all power and signal lines, as well as removing any potential wireless receiving equipment on SCP-024, does not affect SCP-024 in any way. When it became clear that no other contestants would participate, the announcer kindly asked Dr. Blank to leave SCP-024 and suggested he return with more contestants. Addendum 4. The studio guardians that the announcer uses to enforce the rules vary in appearance. Every game, just like the course, if they appear, the guardians will always be dressed in a manner that matches with the theme of the obstacle course. The only common attributes all guardians share are the possession of humanoid appearance, ability to suddenly appear and disappear, superhuman strength, and a face concealing mask or headgear. However, winners have claimed that the guardians have no apparent shape or form inside SCP-024, instead appearing as huge, shadowy figures that engulf the offender. So, that's creepy. I mean, you know how clowns, if they appear out of nowhere, are creepy? Imagine going somewhere and there's a game show out of nowhere. That's creepy. And here we have SCP-025. And here we have SCP-025's citation. And here again we have SCP-025. Item number SCP-025. Object class safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-025 is only to be opened during testing as the room in which SCP-025 is stored. Entry codes are to be given only to authorized research and security personnel. No other containment protocols required. Description. SCP-025 is a wooden wardrobe measuring 0.97 meters by 0.62 meters by 1.95 meters, full of clothing dating from a number of time periods. Article contains within the chest, collectively named SCP-025-1, matched with styles of decades from the 1920s to present. The apparel from each time frame varies with regards to the style. For example, a polyester strip shirt and pair of charcoal suit pants both correspond with general styles of the 1970s. The only unifying aspect of every article contained in SCP-025 is that each one is in poor condition. Moths have eaten at much of the collection, and the tears and runs are not uncommon. When any item from SCP-025 is put on, the wearer is observed either to die or suffer an injury within 24 hours. The cause of death or injury in these instances is invariably linked to the aforementioned flaws in the clothing, but only ever appears to be an unrelated incident. Wearing a glove with a fingertip cut off may result in the loss of a fingertip through a simple kitchen accident like chopping onions. Similarly, a subject wearing a poncho with a sleeve missing will somehow cause the loss of an uncovered arm, be it an attack by a wild animal or a vehicular accident that necessitates the amputation of the limb. If placed in a sealed, unfurnished enclosure while wearing an item from the chest, the wearer will either seemingly spontaneously contract flesh-eating disease that begins in the area not covered by the clothing, or suffer the failure of an organ located beneath the imperfection in the article. Diseases arising from such incidents may or may not be contagious. No study has been successfully undertaken due to the speed at which the strains observed run their course. Recommend that, if possible, sample of these diseases be taken to lab for possible weaponization. God damn, you guys are dicks. Following is an abridged testing at log of SCP-025. More thorough testing will accompany the declassification of the document in its entirety. Test log SCP-025 Section 1. Subject D778, a 42-year-old white male. Article 1940s era white tuxedo. Imperfections: torn seam in the left shoulder. Test results. Subject was allowed free roam of the halls under Agent Blank's supervision. For approximately 45 minutes, nothing eventful occurred. However, at blank blank blank, security tapes and eyewitnesses indicated that D778 appeared to make an attempt at attacking Agent Blank. He in turn overcame the subject with a knife, causing an inch-deep gash in D778's left shoulder, precisely at the point where the tuxedo seam was ripped. Test halted. Subject later terminated. So the question is, did D778 attack Agent Blank because he wanted to, or was it pushed by the ruined tuxedo? Subject D160, a 26-year-old white male. Article 2004 Boston Red Sox baseball cap. Imperfections: missing size adjuster in the back of cap, logo in front partially removed. Test results. Placed in a sealed room with the subject was able to, on which I'm going to start over. Test results. Placed in a sealed room with the subject was a table on which were a loaded Jericho Baby Eagle 9mm handgun, a grill lighter, and a hatchet. D690 chose to wear the cap backward for the test. Potential effects of this decision on the outcome of the test are unknown. Subject expressed reluctance to touch any of the objects on the table for several hours. Food and water were provided as necessary. After 4 hours of general inactivity, subject picked up the handgun and examined it. While holding it at roughly eye level, the weapon discharged into D690's forehead where the size adjustment band would have been. The round exited the subject near the part of the hat where the missing part of the logo. That's funny. I mean, he already knew not to touch it. Subject D736, a 22-year-old white male. D771, a 23-year-old white male. Article: burgundy striped sweater vest dating from 1973. Imperfection: article seemed to have been partially eaten by moths, several large holes in front of the sweater. Test result. D736 was asked by researching staff to wear the sweater vest, which he did under duress. D771 was given a loaded gun out of sight of the other test participant and instructed to, on given signal, fire all 6 shots in the direction of D736. After doing so, it was noted that every shot fired through one of the holes in the sweater vest, leaving the clothing intact and killing D736. Firearm retrieved, the surviving subject transported back to quarters. Well, that's just messed up. Subject D771, a 23-year-old white male. Article: sweater vest from above trial. Imperfections: same as mentioned. Test results. D771 was this time placed in an empty room Dimensions 15 meters by 15 meters by 15 meters. Only objects in the enclosure were lights overhead. Subject initially complained of boredom, then lay on his back and went to sleep. After 2 hours and 14 minutes, two of the fluorescent light bulb tubes in the ceiling suddenly dislodged and fell. Both landed squarely on holes in the sweater, shattering upon impact. One of the tubes broke into jagged pieces that impaled D771 in several areas, but only again through the gaps already present in the sweater vest. Subject's vitals persisted for another 6 minutes, then ceased. Further testing locations will be selected to minimize possible damage to the surrounding area. Yeah, you don't want to hurt your building. Subject: Dr. Blank, unplanned experiment, an unidentified individual left an article from SCP-025 on Dr. Blank's desk that looks similar to an item of his own clothing. Any information about this incident and or perpetrator of the same should be reported immediately to senior staff. Article: lightweight scarf dyed a number of colors. Imperfection: heavily pulled seams cause scarf to be considerably shorter and tighter in the middle. Oh, that's going to be terrible. Test results. According to his itinerary, Dr. Blank, wearing the item from SCP-025, was en route to enclosure of SCP Blank on blank 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 for routine testing. However, he diverged from his intended path and began in the direction towards an entirely separate wing of the facility. Subject then entered the enclosure of SCP-0173 without gathering accompaniment or following safety procedures, and upon hearing the door close, blinked. Cause of death listed as strangulation resulting from crushed windpipe. Does SCP-0173 crush windpipes? I thought it just snapped necks. Subject: D802, a 30-year-old Hispanic female. Article: 1980s flash dance style white shirt. Imperfection: right shoulder removed, left sleeve completely cut off, entire bottom hem shredded. Oh, this poor woman. Test results. Data expunged. All presents were presumed infected, then quarantined, and data expunged. All further tests involving 1980s era fashion have been postponed indefinitely due to the expenditures and safety hazards presented by the aforementioned experiment. Full cleanup estimated to take an additional blank weeks. Oh, that's funny. But, I mean, right shoulder removed, left sleeve cut off, entire bottom shredded. What did she get? Like a flesh-eating virus? And here's the citation. SCP-026 by Dr. Everman from SCP Wiki. Source: SCP Wiki SCP-026. SCP-026. Item number: SCP-026. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-026 is to remain securely locked and boarded up at all times. When there is no research going on, alarms are set to alert the Foundation in case of entry by civilians or other agencies. Description: SCP-026 is a 3-story public school building built in blank. It has 2 wings connected to a central foyer with a declared condemned in blank. After it was found the floor plan didn't match up to the building's blueprints. See interview log 026-01. It came to the Foundation's attention after several disappearances in the area were linked to visits the abandoned building. So, here's something I don't know how to do, and I think I mentioned this before. but I don't know how to read words that are cut through, so I'm going to read them in its entirety, and I might add something later to let you know they were cut through. They were scratched out. The building demonstrates spatial anomalies. Its internal space is much greater than the external surface of the building would allow. Hallways display variable length, while stairways have different numbers of steps going up or down. The number of rooms off the hallways change each time they are encountered. Attempts to reach the far ends of the hallways have met with failure thus far. Entrances through fire escapes located at the ends of hallways lead to doors approximately midway down the length of the halls. Edit. See note 026-A. There is considerable graffiti on the interior of the walls of the school. Most appear typical, including gang signs, names, and street art. However, the graffiti fades and reappears, changing locations. Writing on the chalkboards and bulletin boards change in a similar fashion. Subjects typically found range from standard school subjects, mathematics, literature, biology, to more esoteric subjects such as quantum entanglement, blank, and eugenics. One researcher reported on the board detailed information about SCP blank, but photographic evidence shown only a blank slate. See note 026-B. The phrase "the children used to sing" has appeared multiple times in various places throughout the building, but there is currently no explanation for its significance. A bit more water. A number of unconscious subjects have been found in the building, mostly of high school age, ranging from 12 to 18. They are dressed in accordance to the school's dress code circa blank. Several have been identified as former students or faculty of the school who disappeared after the school shut down. In at least more than one case, more than 10 years after the closure. It is currently unknown how they were transported back into SCP-026. See note 026-C. All attempts to wake the subjects while inside the building have failed. On being removed from the grounds of SCP-026, the subjects were wake abruptly. They experience a period of confusion before dying from extreme rapid dehydration, followed by advanced decomposition. No useful intelligence has been recovered from the subjects to date. I wonder if they tried giving them fluids before taking them out. That might help. The inability to wake subjects extends to those who fall asleep on the grounds of SCP-026 through the rapid dehydration only seems to affect those who have be found on the grounds of the school. See Incident Report 026-12. Note 26-A. Robotic exploration and video feeds have shown that the apparent spatial anomalies are caused by changes in the perceptions of observers, rather than actual spatial phenomena. For this reason, SCP-026 does not require the expertise of Mobile Task Force Row 8 roadside picnickers at this time. Update. Further exploration has shown that some spatial phenomena do occur. See the exploration logs for more details. Note 026-B. The contents of this notepad, books, and pieces of paper have been observed to disappear, only to reappear on surfaces within SCP-026. New writings have appeared mostly drawn from graffiti or textbooks. Caution should be exercised in bringing documents onto the grounds of SCP-026. Notes. Note 026-C. Several Class D personnel exposed to SCP-026 have disappeared from the Foundation control, only to reappear inside the anomalous building. The subjects in question have previously complained of dreams identical to those experienced by Agent Malik. Update. See interview log 026-8. Incident report 026-12. During routine security check of SCP-026, Agent Malik was found unconscious by his partner, Agent Jones, in the main foyer. Initial attempts at rousing Agent Malik were ineffective, so he was moved for transportation to Site Blank. Upon leaving the grounds of SCP-026, he woke abruptly in a state of agitation. When questioned, he revealed that he had been dreaming of a classroom setting. This dream has been consistent throughout all subjects who have fallen asleep within the grounds of SCP-026. And here is the citation page for SCP-027 by Quirkroven. I'm not going to try to pronounce that again because I was not even close to pronouncing that right. Alright then, let's continue. SCP-027. Item number SCP-027. Object class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The host of SCP-027, currently Subject 027-2, is to be kept in a 5 meter by 5 meter containment cell with a grated raised room connected to a strong vacuum system. All creatures removed from the subject's containment cell are to be incinerated, except for a small portion to be diverted for analysis and necropsy. The cell is to be cleaned and inspected for structural damage daily. Subject 027-2 must be monitored by at least 2 personnel at all times. Any unusual behavior or vital signs on the part of the subject or the appearance of any unusual species in the subject's vicinity must immediately be removed to Level 4 personnel. Immediately be reported to Level 4 personnel. Security personnel assigned to SCP-027 must be inoculated against all known animal-borne pathogens and must be armed with tranquilizer guns, with standing orders to subdue the subject if need arises. Until SCP-027 is better understood, no personnel of Level 4 clearance or higher should approach within 200 meters of subject. Description. SCP-027 appears to be a phenomenon of unknown source that seems to be tied to one human subject, currently SCP-027-2, at a time. As host to SCP-027, Subject 027-2 is constantly surrounded by swarming vermin that are drawn to his location. The subject does not appear to be able to assert control over these creatures in any way, and is in fact prone to occasional attacks from feral specimens. These creatures have also been known to attack personnel who approach too closely. Wherever the subject goes, an initial swarm of flies, insects such as gnats and flies will start to form a cloud around him, usually within 2 to 3 minutes. Shortly thereafter, crawling animals including lice, cockroaches, worms, spiders, data sponge, mice, and rats will begin to appear. The longer the subject remains in the location, the more vermin will gather there. When the subject leaves the location, some of these creatures will follow, but most will disperse. SCP-027 has been known to transfer between hosts once upon the death of the first known host, Subject 027-1. See Appendix 1 for more information. Since SCP-027 could likely repeat this feat upon the death of Subject 027-02, all high-value personnel should be kept away from the current host until more about SCP-027 is understood. SCP-027 has also likely transferred between hosts an unknown number of times before containment. Research into potential previous hosts has commenced, with preliminary evidence suggesting that SCP-027 may have existed for at least blank years. It is not yet known how SCP-027 chooses or attracts animals, or even what SCP-027 exactly is. The previous host never expressed having any sort of communication with separate consciousness entity. I'm going to read this paragraph again. It is not yet known how SCP-027 chooses or attracts animals, or even what SCP-027 exactly is. The previous host never expressed having any sort of communication with a separate conscious entity. Analysis of the current host has been inconclusive at best. Appendix 1. Timeline of significant events. 4 blank 1990 blank. Subject 027-1 is discovered in an abandoned warehouse outside of blank blank that had been completely overrun by rats, cockroaches, and other vermin, and is contained and cataloged as SCP-027. The subject is described as a Caucasian male in his late 30s, of average height but gaunt, filthy, and covered in bites and scratches. The subject also shows symptoms of degraded mental health, evidence of heavy alcohol and illicit drugs, and signs of prolonged sleep deprivation. 10 blank 2000 blank. Subject expires. Autopsy shows that 70% of the subject's body data expunged, a colony of rats nesting in the subject's abdomen for at least blank generations. Ten blank 2000 blank. Between 150 hours after subject's death, Security Officer K blank F blank reports being awoken by breathing problems due to a large housefly having crawled up his nose, later shown to have laid eggs. Subsequent observations lead to categorization of Officer F blank as Subject 027-2. The original host is classified as Subject 027-1, and SCP-027 is redefined. Data expunged. Appendix 2. Transcript of Interview 027-201. The following interview was conducted on 10 blank 2000 blank. Shortly after Subject 027-2 was identified and transferred into the containment cell that has housed Subject 027-1. Dr. Jameson. Good morning, Officer F blank. How are you feeling? Subject 02-0. Hold on. Let me restart that. Subject 027-02. Scared, confused, mostly scared though. J. Understandable. S. And itchy. I feel like I need to shower all the damn time. J. But what about inside? Do you feel anything different inside you, like a presence? S. Thinks, scratches his head. No, I don't think I do. I haven't really noticed anything like that. J. You haven't felt anything different since the original host died, besides the itching? S. No, I can't say that I have. J. What about any sort of voices or compulsions? S. Agitated. No, I haven't felt anything except bugs crawling all over me. I feel dirty and scared. And Doc, what about my family? You gotta get this thing out of me so I can see them again. J. Of course, we're going to do everything we can to get 027 out of you. God, I'm sorry, blank. Why just show the K in blank? That seems so weird. Normally it's just blank. No, note. Shortly after this interview took place, Dr. Jameson and several other members of the research team for SCP-027 were transferred to SCP-1772 project. Hold on, guys. Let me just I'll be right back. I need to help with something. Oh, man. Whew. Sorry about that. It's cause my husky. Oh, that is too loud. Hold on. My husky, he had surgery. We had a big tumor removed, and he needs to go outside with a leash, so I had to take him out. I was gonna say it's a lot to explain, but it's not. It really is just he's old and He gets tumors now. Alright, let's go to the next one. Is this a different one? Yeah, the last one was 27. Okay. SCP-028. Item number SCP-028. Object class Safe. Special containment procedures. No special means are needed to contain at this time, as SCP-028 has not shown any change in size, position, or shapes during the entire period of its containment. But access must be restricted. Currently, SCP-028 is contained on site blank. As SCP-028 is not transportable by any known means, SCP-028 is sealed in a 6 by 6 by 3 meter 20 by 10 concrete room with a single door, with 2 armed personnel stationed outside. Only authorized personnel are to be allowed exposure to SCP-028, and extreme care must be taken at all times. While SCP-028 is in itself harmless, the effect can be very damaging to the unprepared. See document EL-028-1125. And some water. Oh, that almost went down the wrong hole. I'm so sorry. Description. SCP-028 is located in an abandoned storage yard outside a copper mine in northern Michigan. SCP-028 has no detectable physical presence of any kind, but its effect occurs in a 2.1 meter cube around what is commonly held as the center of SCP-028. All forms of scanning and testing near the area of SCP-028 have shown no abnormal readings. Adding or removing objects or attempting to remove dirt from under SCP-028 has no effect in altering the size or shape of SCP-028's area of effect, nor the onset of the quality of effect. Subjects entering SCP-028 are within 3 to 6 seconds struck by a total and complete knowledge of a subject. This knowledge is thus far completely random in both size and usefulness, and sometimes goes unnoticed for extended periods of time. More profound knowledge generally has a stronger effect, with some cases expunged. See document EL-028-1125. This effect can be experienced multiple times by exiting and re-entering SCP-028, but can result in increasingly strong migraines and dizziness after 2 exposures. SCP-028 came to the Foundation's attention after research into news reports of a local miner who submitted a design for a cold fusion reactor in U.S. Patent Office. Mr. Blank reported that it just came to me like a bolt out of nowhere. Like a bolt out of the blue. News and subjects were suppressed and contained after discovery of SCP-028, and the reactor design implemented in the containment of SCP-111. If I were to look and then read instead of read and then guess and then look, I would have a lot less problems. News and subjects were suppressed and contained after discovery of SCP-028, and the reactor design implemented in the containment of SCP-1995. Subsequent testing of SCP-028 has yielded mixed results. And now some water. Document EL-028-114. Partial information retrieval log for 1-5 blank blank. Note, all knowledge is perfect, total, and eidetic. every phone book entry for New York City in 1998. How to redesign the internal combustion engine to run on human blood using only pre-existing parts. Note: full redesign takes 4 hours and runs at a higher efficiency than gasoline. Location of keys for a Buick LeSabre. The proper method of care for a mole rat colony. Origin and history of 12 SCP objects. Note: the main expunged. Family history of the Blackhorn family located in London, England. Geological structure of the earth beneath Greenland, including several unknown caves and expunged. This is such an interesting SCP. I really do like this one a lot. Imagine just walking into an area and you get full memory of some information of something. That's so cool. Document number EL028-1125. Log. E112. Subject D1182 exposed to SCP-028. Subject began to cry and went into a fetal position, showing signs of high distress. Unresponsive to questions and outside stimulus for several days. Lapsed into catatonia. Shortly after stating that this is not life, subject passed into a coma and died shortly thereafter. COD was attributed to shock. E127. Agent Blank accidentally exposed to SCP-028. Agent shown signs of sudden surprise and bemusement. When questioned, Agent requested a moment to gather my thoughts, please. After several seconds, Agent laughed, shook his head, and removed his service pistol from his holster. Agent shot and wounded Dr. Blank and killed Agents Blank and Blank before being restrained. Post-incident interrogation revealed Agent Blank had extensive knowledge of classified Foundation activities and several SCP objects he had not previously been exposed to, including SCP-2669. Any Foundation personnel found to have entered SCP-028's area of effect are to be detained indefinitely. Document number EL028-1128. Log. Experiment 189, subject D9843 exposed to SCP-028. Blank 03-19-1146. Examination of subject revealed abnormal respiratory actions. Blank 03-19-1337. Questioning revealed subject had learned to recycle the carbon dioxide inside his body. Blank 3-19-17-21. Repeated attempts to teach. Let me start over. My lips are dry. I'm gonna need a bigger water bottle. Repeated attempts to teach skill to other D-class personnel failed. Blank 3-24-12-11. Subject terminated. Blank 7-18-15-03. Autopsy revealed no abnormal organ formations. Blank 07-18-18-37. Research notes. Dr. Blank Blank, seriously, how the hell did he do that? This is such a cool one. I don't think I've ever seen this one even, like, if you look up SCPs, I don't even think I've seen SCP-028 before. That is such an interesting idea. I like this one. Oh, this one's not too bad. And here's the citation page. Oh, my throat. SCP-029. Item number SCP-029. Object class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-029 is to be incarcerated in a Class 5 containment cell. She is to be allowed access to nothing of a physical nature. Her containment cell is to be placed behind a triple airlock to avoid her escape. As of Incident 029-34A, SCP-029 is no longer to be fed as she does not appear to need sustenance to survive. There are to be 3 guards on duty at all times on her cell, and 2 guards on monitor duty. Floodlights have been installed in the walls of the containment chamber and are to be on at all times. Once a month, the chamber is to be cleaned and checked for defects. Under absolutely no circumstance are any men to encounter SCP-029 in any manner. Any males who do encounter SCP-029 are to be held under Class 3 detention for interviewing before termination. SCP-029 has requested a bed, denied, a blanket, denied, books, denied, clothes, denied. This is ridiculous. The girl can't even have clothes. We are not animals. Let her cover herself. Dr. Erica Bodine. Dr. Bodine. You are granted permission to deliver clothes to SCP-029. Dr. Light. Thank you, Dr. Light. As of Incident 029-53B, anyone who has potential access to SCP-029 is required to first watch surveillance tape 029 Bodine as a reminder of threats involved when working with SCP items and SCP-029 in particular. Uh-oh. No good deed goes unpunished, I think, methinks will be relevant here. Let me get some more water. Description. SCP-029 appears to be a pubescent female of Asiatic Indian descent. She appears to suffer from alopecia universalis. Over 80% of her pigmentation is a true black, while the rest of her skin has a complete lack of melanin to the point of albinism. Her eyes are also dark black in color. SCP-029 has several homicidal tendencies and has displayed a remarkable ability to use any item as a weapon. However, she has severe compulsion against shedding blood, preferring instead to strangle her victims. SCP-029 has demonstrated dexterity and physical reactions 4 times as fast as the average human. SCP-029 has also displayed extensive resistance to damage of all forms. Both of these extra-human abilities are greatly hampered in the presence of bright or direct light, natural or artificial. In addition, any male who comes within the presence of SCP-029, an area defined by her current perception, find themselves pliant to her will. Such males become willing to kill or even die for SCP-029. SCP-029 refers to herself as blank, which roughly translates to Daughter of Darkness, Daughter of Shadows, or Daughter of Night. Interviews with SCP-029 have proven difficult to conduct due to SCP-029's constant attempts to kill or convert all who speak with her. Over her years of captivity, the black patches of her skin have increased in size. Oh, my throat. Oof. SCP-029 was first brought to the Foundation's attention by an agent working in rural India. In an attempt on his life led him to a small cult of men who claimed to be thuggies in service to the daughter. Several weeks of investigation proved that they believed the world to be in the last years of the Kali Yuga, and that by sacrificing 1 million lives to the Daughter of Darkness, they could raise their goddess and end the world. They also believed that only sacrifices performed through strangulation added to this tally. Events led the agents to their mountain fortress where he discovered SCP-029. After the loss, after the my lips are dry. After the loss of said agent, data expunged, which ended in our acquisition of SCP-029. Oh dear, I'm almost out of water. That's a shame. Addendum. 7 years after capture, SCP-029 began showing anomalous growth in her black pigmentation. When questioned about it, she claimed her followers were on the move once more. Investigation led us to a concentration of so-called thuggies that had escaped our initial foray. After discovering that all her followers were there for one of their holy days, a tactical airstrike was called in. When the first drum bobbed, SCP-029 awoke from slumber screaming at the top of her lungs. SCP-029 continued to scream for the next 4 hours, ranting and raving that we were killing her people. Since said event, the growth of black pigmentation has completely stopped. Also, since said event, SCP-029 has redoubled her efforts to escape. SCP-2820 has been proposed as a possible method of neutralization should the situation worsen. And then this is a citation. I will be right back. I just need to get a little bit of water. Or wait, do I? Yes, I do need to get a little bit of water. I'll be back. Stay here. Sorry about that. Where was I? Let's see here. Where was I? SCP-30. Alright, so in case I haven't showed this, here's the citation page. And okay, yeah, this is probably gonna be the last one for the day. SCP-30. Item number SCP-30. Object class Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-30 is to be held at Site-17 within a modified humanoid containment cell. Minor adaptations to accommodate stature, such as approximately scaled workspace and chair, are to be included. Lighting within the cell may alter upon request of SCP-30 to a maximum of 2,000 lumens via a simple dimmer switch. Should the need to render SCP-30 inert arise, staff may extinguish the light from the exterior switch and draw blackout curtains as necessary. Standard night vision equipment is available for observation of SCP-30 in its inert state. And some water. SCP-30 may request materials for personal research every 90 days. All previously requested materials are to be collected and destroyed prior to delivery of new materials. All materials are to be evaluated and screened by both research and security staff. SCP-30 is to be denied access to any modern scientific journals or texts, and fiction is to be restricted to works produced no later than 1623 CE to preserve the integrity of its innate knowledge. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-30 in writing are to place a formal request, document number 30-RS/B, with the supervising researcher on duty. All correspondence is to be retained. Staff wishing to consult with SCP-30 in person are to submit a formal request to Site Manager. Document 30-RP-A17030-A, at least 30 days prior to their preferred consultation date. All consultations are to be recorded and retained. Senior staff, research staff may request SCP-30 to be temporarily removed from its containment for a maximum of 1 hour to provide observational insight into non-restricted materials or events within Site-17. Under no circumstances is SCP-30 to leave the confines of Site-17. Requests must be presented in person to Site Management and security staff at least 30 days prior to their preferred observational release date. All observation release events are to be recorded and retained. SCP-30 has been equipped with a tracking device, inventory control code number 30-17-1, so its location within Site-17 may be determined precisely at any time. Description: SCP-30 appears as a hairless, genderless, gray-toned human, 71 centimeters in height and weighing 12 kilograms. 2 British stone in antiquated measures. Its solid blue eyes lack discernible irises or pupils and resemble small cut sapphires. SCP-30 possesses an androgynous voice with a pronounced English accent not currently identifiable as specific to any modern region. It is able to converse, read, and write in ancient Greek, Latin, Italian, English, Spanish, and Portuguese, as well as 2 additional languages that have not yet been identified, despite SCP-30's insistence that they should be common knowledge. SCP-30 has demonstrated knowledge of physics, chemistry, astronomy, mathematics, and horticulture roughly equivalent to that of the 17th century CE academic. In addition, SCP-30 has demonstrated knowledge on these topics along research lines that do not appear in historical record. These alternative or entirely unknown approaches to research in natural sciences are one source of SCP-30's utility in consultation. SCP-30 remains active while a 15 lumen source of light or greater is within 1.5 feet. In the absence of light, SCP-30 becomes inert, apparently losing consciousness and showing no outward signs of life. Within 5 to 10 seconds of being re-exposed to light, SCP-30 becomes active once more, appearing to come out of a light slumber no matter how long the period of inactivity has been. SCP-30 does not appear to require these periods of inactivity as human would require sleep, and has expressed a desire to remain active as often as possible. Man, I would love the ability to just be able to go to sleep whenever the light was taken off me. Biopsy analysis of SCP-30 remains inconclusive. While clay native to English counties of Kent, Surrey, and Greater London make up the majority of its structure, traces of Mandragora officiorum, lye, mercury, and human blood have been found in each sample taken. SCP-30 has expressed that a full exploratory surgery to determine its workings would potentially end its existence. Samples removed from SCP-30 do not regenerate, and sampling is currently discontinued to preserve its integrity. Although SCP-30 can be damaged, it does not appear to feel pain and will simply remold any portion of its anomaly that has experienced deformation. Notably, SCP-30 cannot be molded directly by human hands, though any number of tools may be used to alter its surface. SCP-30 does not respirate, requires no sustenance, and produces no waste, although it does infrequently request a bath. Aww. I like SCP-30. He's a good dude. I hope. Man, I hope this doesn't go dark fast. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. SCP-30 refers to itself as Ariel and regularly requests that the staff do the same. Questions regarding how SCP-30 was created and by whom are routinely answered with seemingly rote statement. I have been asked to forget that bit of information. Terribly sorry. SCP-30 delivers this response in the same tone and cadence each time any question regarding its origins or creator are presented. Given its composition and location of origin, a link to alchemist of Alagada is suspected. Okay, so it says it was asked to forget that information. But that doesn't mean that it did forget that information. Also, Ariel comes out in a song by Leonard Cohen, and I can't remember which one, but it does mention that it's his muse, right? I think. Further exploration is going to be... I'm sleepy. It's almost midnight here. SCP-30 was discovered 6/12 blank during a mandatory archaeological survey within London's Mortlake district pending construction of a car park. It was buried approximately 2.7 meters, 9 feet below street level, contained in a small stone sarcophagus. The sarcophagus bore no markings. It was assumed to be that of a deceased infant as additional graves were discovered in the survey area. The sarcophagus lid was shattered during excavation, exposing SCP-30 to daylight. Upon being struck by the sun's rays, SCP-30 roused from its inert state to one of mild activity within seconds, stating, "Good afternoon," to the assembled construction team. A member of the Foundation's Greater London Recon Force was summoned within hours and took the specimen into custody without resistance. The limited number of witnesses were given amnestics and released. Oh, good, they released. They didn't terminate them. That's a nice change of pace. Addendum 1, and this isn't a link. That's just like it opens it. 914 blank. Tracking system installed for SCP-30. 1221 blank. SCP-30 reports malfunction of its own tracking system. Repairs completed within 6 hours. SCP-30 offers to assist but is refused for security purposes. 313 blank. SCP-30 completes 18-week seminar on an unknown language. Alpha Zephyr 5 staff researchers considered fluent. Lexicography transmitted to 05-blank. 72 blank. While in consultation, researcher blank inadvertently makes several remarks regarding photovoltaic technology. Consultation ended before the researcher can substantively elaborate. 812 blank. SCP-30 requests a supply of magnesium and indicates it intends to ignite samples to study the light produced. Request denied by researchers. Aw, poor guy didn't get his magnesium. Which is probably for the best, because I think that's the same stuff that Batman used to take out Martian Manhunter, right? Well, Batman's plan. I also wonder if he knows how to make Greek fire. 12-4 blank. 12-14 blank. Incident 31. Incident 30-1. Using only what appears to be a standard potting soil, ginger, Zinniber officinale, a 72-gram sample of rutilated quartz, and a 23 centimeter length of coiled copper wire, SCP-30 produces an object device capable of emitting notable levels of directed ultraviolet light through unknown means. Device is confiscated. Effects not only currently replicable without direct intervention from SCP. Effects not currently replicable without direct intervention from SCP-30. Researchers currently in consultation to determine if this line of SCP-30's research will be permitted to continue. It is speculated that SCP-30 may be working towards an alternate and possibly anomalous manifestation of the photoelectric effect after receiving only minimal information regarding its existence. All research by SCP-030 suspended and materials removed for pending review. Oh, so it only heard about the photoelectric, and it's kind of making it work. Like it has an idea about it, and it's just sort of manifesting it. Oh, this is interesting. It's like a little clay golem that's smart and has a British accent. Interesting. Very interesting. Well, anyways, I'm going to call it for tonight. That was SCP-30, and I like that one too. And this is Saga Yote signing off. You guys have a good one. Bye.